Only 4 players aged 40 or older have played in MLB this year. Future Hall of Famers Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer, 2-time All-Star Charlie Morton, and finally, Jesse Chavez. Granted, Chavez isn't typically pitching in high-leverage situations, but that doesn't take away from how effective he's been. In fact, the last reliever aged 40 years old or older to pitch at least 50 innings and produce an ERA plus of at least 140, meaning their ERA was 40% above league average, was Mariano Rivera. Like Rivera, Chavez's name is synonymous with one team. That team is the Atlanta Braves. However, unlike Rivera, who pitched his entire career with the Yankees, Chavez's Braves career spans over a decade across 5 separate stints, and the fact he's lasted this long in the big leagues is an accomplishment in itself, especially considering how he began his career.
Right-hander Jesse Chavez will pitch to Raul Chavez, and he'll make his major league debut.
This is a 25-year-old Jesse Chavez making his big league debut for the Pirates on August 27th, 2008. Funny enough, he was facing the team that drafted him, the Chicago Cubs. Well, the first team that drafted him. In 2001, the Cubs drafted Chavez in the 39th round out of high school. He elected to attend college and re-entered the draft the following year. In 2002, he was drafted in the 42nd round by the Texas Rangers. Chavez didn't exactly possess the projectable frame scouts look for in players. Listed at 6 foot tall and 125 pounds during high school, Chavez's former high school pitching coach referred to him as all skin and bones. During his time with the Rangers, with help from a trainer and nutritionist, Chavez put on 20 pounds in one offseason, only to lose it all during spring training. Still, what ultimately matters are results on the field, and Chavez had made a good first impression in his debut. Unfortunately, this didn't last much longer, ultimately ending the season with a 6.60 ERA and 65 ERA+. Fortunately, in 2009, Chavez was given the chance to stay in the bullpen throughout the entire season, resulting in 73 appearances and an overall decent year. However, Tampa Bay Rays Vice President of Baseball Operations, Andrew Friedman, who now runs the Dodgers front office, felt Chavez had the tools and ability to develop into something more, which is what he said after acquiring him following the 2009 season. Just like that, Chavez was now a member of the 2008 AL pennant winners, but he wasn't exactly celebrating. When the trade went down, his wife, Crystal, was going into labor. While she was having contractions, I was on the phone, getting blindsided. That started the whole spiral. A few weeks later, he was traded again, this time to Atlanta. This 26-year-old Chavez was a much different pitcher compared to the 40-year-old veteran Braves fans know and love. Today, Chavez frequents a cutter and sinker that usually ranges between 88 and 91 miles per hour. Back in 2009, he threw neither of these pitches. Instead, he threw a four-seamer that averaged 95 miles per hour and maxed out at 97 to 98. Although this velocity wasn't exactly fooling hitters.
0-1. Ground ball, base hit, ball game, walk-off!
About a week after this walk-off loss, Chavez was traded to the Royals, where he posted numbers eerily similar to the numbers he produced with the Braves, resulting in an overall poor 2010 season. However, the next couple years were even worse, as he bounced between 3 different teams, spent the majority of his time in AAA, and was continuously getting shelled at the big league level. Looking at the totality of his first 5 big league seasons, it's astounding that he was able to last another decade in the league. Think of it like this. In MLB history, only 4 players have within their first 5 seasons pitched at least 150 games and produced an ERA plus of 75 or less. Meaning these 4 guys were given all the chances in the world, but often failed to make the most of them. That's why their MLB careers didn't last much longer after their first 5 seasons, with the exception being Chavez. Although, during his 5th big league season in 2012, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, a Japanese baseball team, offered the Blue Jays $1 million for the rights to sign Chavez. Both the Blue Jays and Chavez declined, but he was still left wondering what was next for him. All I could think was, what's going to happen? When can I start a season and finish a season with a team and get that comfortability? Get that chemistry with the guys? Well, he needed to move again, this time over 2,000 miles westward, but he eventually found that home. Between 2013 and 2015, as a member of the Oakland A's, Chavez transformed into a completely different pitcher. After spending the year as a reliever in 2013, he spent the majority of 2014 and 2015 as a starter, and to this point, it was the best stretch of his career. So, what changed? In terms of pitch usage, he ditched his four-seamer and slider in favor of a curveball and new cutter. He also utilized his sinker a bit more, a pitch he used to throw regularly but abandoned between 2005 and 2012 because teams wanted him to throw as hard as possible to get strikeouts. Ironically, the high velo four-seamer I mentioned earlier was the anchor holding down his potential, and this wasn't discovered until 6 teams later. However, not only did Chavez's 3-year stint in Oakland come to an end after the 2015 season with a trade back to the Blue Jays, he also played for both LA teams between 2016 and 2017, leading to some mixed results. Then, before the 2018 season, Chavez signed a 1-year deal to reunite with the team that drafted him, but he never played for: the Texas Rangers. At 34 years old, Chavez wasn't expected to do much other than eat some innings out of the bullpen. Instead, he performed so well that a contender traded for him near the trade deadline. That team was the other team who drafted him, the Chicago Cubs. He responded by becoming one of the best relievers in baseball, ultimately showcasing how he's managed to stay in the league for so long. Check out Chavez's 2018 game log. Notice the number of outings where he pitched more than 1 inning? Since 2000, Chavez has the 7th most number of relief outings lasting longer than 1 inning. In the same way Jordan Lyles is paid to be an innings eater in the rotation, Chavez is paid to do the same out of the bullpen. When the game is out of reach or the bullpen needs some rest, Chavez is right there, ready to go. Oftentimes, he's the final pitcher for a team in a given game, which is why he's credited with 178 games finished. But because virtually none of these outings were save situations, he only has 9 career saves. As a result, Chavez is one of only 3 pitchers in MLB history to have at least 170 games finished, but also have less than 10 saves in their career. My dad always told me, if you can get on the field no matter what. Go out there and compete and find a way. In 2020, Chavez earned his 10th year of service time, a feat only about 6% of big league players achieve, something that is worn as a badge of honor among the baseball player fraternity. Plus, he also now qualifies for not only a full pension, but the ability to appear on the Hall of Fame ballot. Now, Chavez is nowhere near qualified for the Hall of Fame, but let's just say he miraculously made it. Which team's logo would he wear? Through 2020, his longest tenure with a team was less than 4 full seasons with the Oakland A's, but his best season was split between 2 teams in 2018. As a journeyman, Chavez hadn't really developed an affiliation with a singular team. After all, he is the most traded player in MLB history. Well, instead of retiring after a dreadful 2020 season, Chavez signed a deal with one of his former teams.
0-2 on the way. Chopper out to Dansby. Dansby throws to first base. Is this happening? It is! The Atlanta Braves are world champions!
Chavez's 2021 season was pretty wild. He was signed and released by the Angels before the season began, ended up signing a minor league deal with the Braves, and was called up in the middle of the season. Surpassing expectations has been the theme of Chavez's tenure with the Braves. Just look at this. Since 2021, Chavez has thrown big league innings for 3 teams: the Braves, Angels, and Cubs. Now, compare the differences in ERA+. For over a decade, Chavez has lived the journeyman life, a life he has learned to embrace. But as much as he's embraced the unfamiliarity of his career, Chavez attributes comfortability and familiarity to his consistent success with the Braves. From the players to the coaching staff to the organizational philosophies, that comfortability helps out with what we want to get accomplished, with where I'm at in my career. As for where Chavez is at in his career, it looks like it's coming to an end, as prior to the 2024 season, he said he's likely to retire this year. Despite the hardships of early career struggles and constantly moving around the league, Chavez has carved out a remarkable career as the unsung hero of a pitching staff. And in the end, he's accomplished everything you can ask for. You talk about the bucket list. You can keep it on 5 fingers. Get to your big leagues, get to arbitration, get to free agency, get to 10 years in the league. The ring is the elusive one. It may have taken more than a decade, but with the Atlanta Braves, Chavez found what he'd been searching for his entire career: a ring and a home. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe to Raving Sports, and check out my channel, Sports Storm. Thanks for watching.